Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast, 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I know it's a popular phrase. In fact, I've said it here myself several times. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. I think it was Henry Ford who said that, but there may be some other more original quotes. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and today I want to talk to you about 3 can'ts, 3 cannots, 3 impossible to-dos that, well, you're just going to have to deal with. And as a leader, if you don't acknowledge that these can'ts are real in your life, well, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences of trying to accomplish them when you can't, because they're can'ts. They can't be done. Number 1, you can't get out of this life alive. Well, that's just reality. If you believe in reincarnation or something of that nature, or maybe you believe in an eternal life, the reality that you're in this physical life now, and one day will turn back to dust or ashes, and whether you go into another world and come back again or whatever, what you've got right now, what you're doing right now, the lives you're impacting right now, this is the only shot you get. There's not a chance to play do-over. When you get to the end, you don't get to count up all your toys and go, oh, look, I win because I have the most toys. No, it's now. Meaning if you don't take action now, you lose. If you don't impact people now, don't expect much. If you don't do with what you have now, then what you have will become somebody else's. And maybe you'll pass it on to your children or your team, or leave it behind for your company, or maybe even leave it for a charity. But if you don't protect it some way, well, then the state's going to take it and they're going to give it to whoever they want to. It's called redistribution of wealth. It's what happens when probate attacks what you've built up because you didn't take care of now. And so later will be managed by somebody else. So you can't get out of this alive. That's number 1. Number 2, you can't do it alone. Well, there are a lot of people who want all the glory and all the control and all the power all for themselves. They don't want anybody else to get their superstardom. They don't want anybody else to share their spotlight. And so they try to do it all alone. They do every task alone. They do all their own marketing alone. They do all their own designs alone. They do all their own writing alone. They do all their own thinking alone, which creates a vacuum, which means not a whole lot of collaborative thinking going on anyway. And because that's the case, there's no one to share the responsibility with. There's no one to share the opportunities with. There's no one to share the tragedies with. Number 2, you can't do it alone. You've got to build a team. Even if part of it is a virtual team, you've got to build a team. You can't do it all on your own, so stop trying. And number 3, you can't farm out your own moral failures. You can't blame anybody else when you make a huge mistake, especially if you're trying to do it alone. Especially if you're trying to collect all the toys so that you can have the win at the end. No, it doesn't work that way. But when I have weaknesses of character, bad decisions, bad choices, all of those, like seeds in the ground, are eventually going to bear fruit. They're going to come up. And what you think has been a secret all this time, and nobody knows it but you because it's trapped inside your head, you're not telling. What has been a secret forever will one day be headline news. What you think has been a secret all along will one day be headline news. You can't do it alone. You can't. You need help. You can't get out of this alive. So build a legacy starting today and do what you got to do now. Because now is the best chance you got. And don't try to blame somebody else. When all of it becomes too much and you become overwhelmed and you can't keep up or hang on and you're ready to check out, back up for a moment and go, you know what? I can't do it alone. And the worst part of being alone is that when I'm done, nobody knows what I did. So take some full responsibility for yourself. Build a team. Leave a legacy. Share the glory. Share the spotlight. and take full responsibility for your own decisions and your own actions, because nobody else can do that. You can't farm out your moral failures to anybody else. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Leadership team. If attitude is going to have a deep impact on your business and bottom line, make it a positive attitude with a positive impact. Visit jlorennorris.com/attitude hack